Hello, and welcome to another evening of Dungeons and Dad Jokes. um, we have just finished up going to RenCon and a couple of other cons that happened in Kentucky and in Dayton. Had a lot of fun. Thank you for coming and gaming with me. It's always a pleasure. I love to do it. It's a lot of fun. So because of that, we have updated our website a little bit, and some new dates are in. Some of those old dates are out, so check it out. There are links in there now for December 7th at Louisville. Yep. Okay. December 7th at Louisville. Check that out. Rhonda will be there. She's gonna run a winter train event. Um, So check that out. And we also have links in there for Bourbon City Steam, which will also be in Louisville. Rhonda and I will both be there. And also links for Wild Wild West Steampunk Convention. I was like, what in the heck? Um, so check that out. There's also links in there. All of us, except for Senior, we hope Senior will make it, will be at Wild Wild West Con. So the Steampunk Con. So check
We'll
that out.
see.
Fingers crossed. That would be awesome. So yeah, so check those out. Check out those links, and when tickets become available, get your tickets and come out and game with us. Uh, is there anything that I'm missing? Nope. Okay. Cool. All right then. Well, let's just go ahead and get started, I guess. Tonight's episode is session 89, entitled Coup. What happened last week? Coup. What happened last week? On the way to White Lake, Forsyth shared that the town was controlled by King and Queen Blinn and Yuri Humi. Um, but they were more like crime bosses and ruled with a heavy hand. Those that were on their payroll could get away with just about anything, and those that weren't were watched. Um, he changed his shape to a Vidalcan and asked the group to call him Wilfred Wildmount, just so because he didn't leave the town under great uh, circumstances. Deporting from the ferry, they were stopped by a town guard where they introduced themselves and let them know that their reason for in town is to visit and learn about the town. Forsyth led them to the Turtle Inn, where they secured rooms and some food, listened to a few people, and watched a few people. Um, they noticed a group at a side table that seemed to be interested in their group, one man in particular. And when checking out his thoughts, because that's what Forsyth does, learns that they were not ready for an unpredictable element. Um, Later, a gentleman from that table came over and introduced himself. And I don't think did I write down his name? I don't know if I wrote down his name. Introduced himself as someone who could guide them around the town, teach them the history, various locations, and whatnot, and negotiated a small fee to also hear about stories of the dragon whose scales fix has dawned on his armor. They plan a time and a place for that to be the next morning, which he seemed good about until he sat down, and they noticed that he was ever so quietly talking to the other man. Um, and when uh, diving into his thoughts, learned that postponement might be of requirement. Eventually, they saw a gentleman enter the bar whom Forsyth recognized, named Hervin, from his past. And when a guard left the tavern, Hervin seemed to follow him, so Forsyth proceeded to follow as well. Eventually, they made it back to Hervin's home, where Forsyth revealed himself, and Hervin invited him to a secret meeting at the water's edge that evening with a code word: tsunami.
That blows.
That blows. It's wet, that's for sure. Um, I lost my place because that's what I do. Once everybody had returned to the Turtle Inn and taken a quick nap, they decided to visit the blacksmith and head to the White Lake Wizardry Emporium, where they met Mirtu, did some shopping, and eventually went to the water's edge to meet in this secret meeting. I realized what I skipped. During that time, while everybody was in the tavern, Evangeline was checking out her orb to kind of sneak into Forsyth's past a bit to see what people perhaps were around him that were helping him out, as well as drew a picture of Gavian that.
Ignore what I sent you.
I'm trying. Well, every now and then. That drew a picture of Gavian with a couple of scars that looked that was not present on Gavian before, where they are thinking perhaps he was involved in a dragon attack of some sort. When checking in with Gavian, he did mention that he was on his way to Yashul to help their mother. And that where we left off was you guys have entered into the water's edge. You have said the secret word. You have been allowed back to the room. You entered in the room where you did see Hervin and Deal, the other gentleman that helped you out in your past, as well as, about 15 others and sitting around a table. And Hervin welcomes you in. The door is shut behind you. And Hervin stands and says, "These are the people that I invited earlier today. I believe that they could help us out." Um, he says, "We are in the process," he looks at you, "we are in the process of making a plan to remove the king and queen from their positions. We are tired of the heavy rule and believe it is time for a new rule." Um, one young lady says, and she says, "In the process, we need to make sure that we get Ulrich out of prison. He's being held at the castle. Don't forget, he comes home with you."
That's a specialty for us. I will actually say that.
Who's Ulrich?
And Ulrich has been prisoner there for a bit of time. When some trouble happened in the mine, which is still happening in the mine, he refused to go in and work, and he has now been charged with treason, basically.
Okay, I'm sorry to derail here. Do you guys remember A Knight's Tale?
Yeah.
The movie?
Wasn't the dude's name in that Ulrich von Liechtenstein?
Oh,
Something
yeah,
like
I
that.
think so. Ulrich von Liechtenstein.
Sorry, that's what popped in my head.
I think so. I think you're right.
All right.
Might be the same one.
All right.
Then again,
Okay. Sorry
one's
to
make
derail.
believe and the other's make believe.
Well,
So we could make believe that they're the same make believe character.
Sure, why not? It's only make believe.
Yeah. He's in prison for treason, which, I mean, to be fair, everybody in this room could be in the same boat.
Yeah, the treasonous ones in this town are the king and the queen.
I don't think I could, but okay.
Well,
And a certain gal named Brianna, is it?
oh, Brianna, the betrothed to the prince.
I've heard of her. News travels far.
Someone else in the town says, "Well, I know we want to rid ourselves of Humi and of the Humies, specifically the king and queen. I don't know that I mean, I hesitate to say this because I don't think they'll be much better. But at the very least, at least the prince and the princess, or soon to be princess, has reached out to other towns and through the steadfast to hopefully put us on the map, so to speak. I mean, we do well for ourselves, but mostly here in the beyond, we don't. We're pretty cut off from the steadfast, and if the people of the steadfast or the rulerships, the nations, take interest, perhaps there could be an income flow that could be better.
Time will tell.
I mean, I do have to say that no, at least none that I recall, would would have reached out before. I don't believe this was Blinn and Yuri's idea. That is for sure. So I have to say it was Porter, probably Brianna's doing.
I'm going to step back and sit down on a bar stool
Okay,
and
there's
not
probably one in there.
not respond because I don't want to give too much away.
Get yourself found out.
The prince and soon to be princess, have they aided this coup in any way?
Oh no.
Hmm.
No, they no, the only thing that they have done is reached out to other nations and out to the steadfast, which if we become a route or on a route of some sort, then it would increase people flow, which would increase income.
But is that to exercise?
Oh, you broke up there, senior.
Is that to exercise more control?
A deal will pipe up and say, "Well, that is one of the things we're a little afraid of. If if her goal is to be counted among the nobility and royals of the steadfast, then it could also potentially be harmful for White Lake."
From
But
what
then
I have heard, White Lake wasn't always a town living in its own fear.
this is true. That the town has been in past that they've had travelers going through here, north to south, up to the jagged wastelands, east to west. At least our ledgers of ancient past, or ages past, I guess I should say, not that ancient. Talks of eastward travel from here. Of course, we are very close to the Clock of Kala. No one travels there anymore.
Is there a reason they don't travel there anymore?
Nobody comes back. Nobody comes back from the east anymore. I mean, people might try, but nobody comes back.
If I had a nickel, or if I had a gold piece for every time I heard that,
I mean, there are lots of places that people travel and never come back from. That is for sure. Whether they die there or just decide to stay there is a totally different story. But since they don't come back, we don't know. Get lost somewhere along the way. But that's for another day.
Let's. So, what would you need of us here to accomplish your goal?
Way I see it, Hervin says, there are one of two options here. Um, One is we got to get into uh, what's his name's castle. I forget the name of the castle. Celis- Celiscor's castle. We need to get into that castle and remove the king and queen, imprison them, kill them, do whatever it takes to get them out of their position of power.
If your goal is to imprison them, do you have any? And he kind of lifts up his hands, does like double quotes, legitimate charges.
Does one need legitimate charges to remove authority?
If you want the people to be okay with it, and it not to just be a cycle that continues whenever somebody wants to change the those that are in charge now.
I mean, by all rights, we could probably charge them with treason against the people.
But you also want to be very careful to not, um, how shall I put this, raise the ire of your neighbors, although it seems your neighbors are far away, that it still raises their eyebrow, and that might not be the wisest choice.
This is true. That is where Miss Shido, was that your last name? Yeah, Shido.
Something like that.
Miss Shido's exploits or communique beyond the steadfast could come back to bite us in the butt.
That's true, because then it seems like someone else is just wanting what she's wanting.
Quite possibly.
We have to be very, very cognizant of those possibilities in people's minds.
But like I said, there is like one of two options here. That's one option. The other option, part of the reason why the people are finally starting to stand up and why we can do this, why I think the time is good, is the mines have been they have been becoming increasingly more dangerous. Um, they have mined far enough into these coal mines to unleash some horror that has killed several. Part of the reason why Ulrich refused to go back in there. And of course, the king is threatened any who refused to work with such imprisonment and has used Ulrich as an example.
Have you
Um,
told this creature that it shall not pass?
well, no, we have not. Do you think that would work?
Depends on how forcefully you tell him.
I
Or
suppose.
her.
But needless to say, several have died. Some have been recovered. Others have been lost, probably for all of time. Um, the miners try to circumvent the area, occasionally making their way back to it anyway. It's getting almost impossible to avoid it at this point.
What does this creature or entity look like?
Those that have survived it, they claim it looks like something from the Nine Hells. It is a dark creature that seems to glow with fire within its under its skin. I was gonna say within its belly, but that's not what I was looking for. Under its skin, and any who have seen it has either died of fear because, well, they freeze in place and they are attacked, or they run away screaming. Like, they don't stick around to find out much more about it.
Hmm.
Have to find it in
Evangeline,
here.
does this sound like anything that you or Kadath have read about?
Um, you can roll me history. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Maybe not. I got a 14. You're muted,
Don't you have
Rhonda.
like a plus 15?
Muted, Rhonda.
Oh man, you're gonna have to.
unhearable, Rhonda.
You're unhearable. You're gonna have to log out and log back in, perhaps.
I have a plus 12. I rolled a 2 on the die.
Oh, geez, with a 14. Okay.
That sounds like my kind of roll.
Yeah. Same. Is that what I'm looking for? Um, you have heard of some, even with your 14. I'll give Rhonda a moment to fix her whatevers. Make sure her microphone's on. Make sure, like, shut it off, shut it back on, do whatever she needs to do. But with your 14, you have heard of creatures that kind of feed on the depths of some mountains, like especially like volcanoes and things of that nature. Um, they live very comfortably in very hot areas. Um, but you are not 100% positive on what exactly they're describing. Hey, I think I hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
I rolled history too.
Okay.
I got
a 20.
Oh, nice. What'd you get, Rhonda?
a 28.
A 28. All
I
right.
got a natural 20. I got plus 0.
All right. Having been in White Lake, Senior, you definitely know some history that you know that there was once like dog-like creatures that would roam the lands and hide in the mountains. And you believe that at some point when, because the clock of Kala is like a plateau, or at least they believe it's like a plateau, and there's just a path to get into the center of it. But the top of it is all obscured by clouds and mist and whatnot. Like, it never clears, so nobody's seen the top of the clock of Kala. But they mine into it, and when the clock of Kala happened, you the history says that hell was unleashed and eventually contained within the mountains. Um, you don't recall a whole lot about the evil creatures that lie within. Some of them were dog-like, and others were not. But they managed to get rid of the things from roaming the world. They got them contained within the mountain. Of course, that was ages past. That this is just history you remember from some schooling that you've done and picking up on information here and there as you do. Evangeline, in your reading, because you got such a high number, you also recall some dog-like creatures that you have seen some pictures of, which have kind of like a light within them. But you have the feeling that that's not exactly what they are describing, although maybe it's those have come out and attacked people, but those are just dark creatures that sure they glow a little bit because they're fiery, but you've actually read about monsters of ancient history just in some random class you took while you were at university that you are recalling. And what they are describing to you seems a little bit more like what you have heard of as an Everclass. That actually looks like they have fire under their skin.
I will share that information.
Um, Hervin says, "Well, if that is what you think it is, um, and then I don't think we have anybody able to take care of that. We may just have to close the mind, which will be a real hit monetary wise."
Well, one step at a time, I think. I'll look to over the link. Wilfred Woodrow. What?
Wilson?
Wilson. Can't be Wilson. You don't have a fence in front of your face.
His name is Wilfred.
Wilfred.
Yeah.
And then outside, Wilfred. What do you think we
Yeah.
should do?
I think that I think we support them in whatever way they think we can, because that's going to be wiser than trying to come up with our own action, simply because then we have help when we need it.
Deal kind of says, "I think one can serve the other. You mention a reason to throw over the king. I mean, I would probably say at least 45% of the people want him gone, if not more. These are just the select few brave enough to come to a meeting, but there are whispers. However, you want a reason to throw over the king. If we were to get that creature, kill it, bring it back, show the people what the king is forcing the miners to face, perhaps we'd get more, and it would become a lot easier."
Fix gets a big old smile. I like fire.
So do I. I just won't tell them why.
Well, if we can get your assistance in taking out this monster,
When do you
this
want this
creature.
overthrowing to take place?
Well, preferably before Saturday, which is Saturday, I say loosely, which is like 4 days from now. That is the expected pre-wedding events to begin, and the wedding will take place within 2 days after that.
Nip it in the butt before the butt gets bigger.
Yes.
Over the link to so Forsyth, are you cool with your sister running this place?
Oh no. I'd like to dethrone her before she even gets to it.
Then we should
She's a
probably
pretentious.
He
find a
starts
way
going
to
away.
remove her from the equation.
I would prefer to find a way to remove her from that equation. I don't want to necessarily. I don't want to kill her. She's my sister. Harm her emotionally, mostly. That would be great. If we
Well,
could take her down a few pegs and make her life miserable, I'd be more than happy. I've
how
been watching too
scandalous
many
do you want this
these
to
Reddit
be?
stories. Oh, scandal is great. I mean, my family deserves a little scandal.
Uh, well, that would be a scandal on the prince, not on your family.
Yeah.
I was thinking bring Lily here to draw his attention away and cause.
You've met Lily.
Yeah.
She's quite a looker.
That would be interesting.
But then the scandal is on the
Is
prince.
this
And
what the leader of the Jagged Edge does? Pimp out his sister?
Hey, I never said anything about vetting. I said distract.
Hey, you've met her. You don't know her.
But
She has been
But would
trained
she
in
be
many a way.
would she be willing to participate in such an endeavor?
I could ask, but my concern is that would be a scandal on the prince, not on your sister. She could then feign betrayal and get more sympathy from the people.
Yeah. Well, we need to think of a way to get her involved in the egg on face.
Yes. Unfortunately, the altar to that is, or at least what I would think the altar to that is kind of claimed at the moment as he looks at Evangeline.
Don't even go there. Somebody's going to get hurt.
Like I said, emotional hurt, maybe a little pain, but not, I don't want her maimed or killed. Not that she didn't try to maim me enough times, but I'm just not that kind of brother.
She is quite spoiled, and should she lose the throne, Forsyth, you have an inkling that she may act like a spoiled brat.
Oh, she'll act like one.
She will throw
That's
her
not a
little
may.
tantrum and
Humiliation galore. Wasn't that what the line said?
I don't
Princess
remember.
Bride.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Humiliation galore.
Well, I think we think on how to address your sister while we plan to take out this fire thing.
Sure, that works. Fighting always brings up some thoughts.
Nothing like a good battle to get your brain working.
Yeah. She will be dealt with one way or another.
We're gonna find you.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
We're gonna get you.
Blondie
Sorry.
wasn't around then.
But Forsyth, once this is all said and done, are you gonna be able to show your face around here?
He can't now.
Well,
I
at least not this one.
Yeah. I think that I shan't have any trouble returning and maybe even rubbing her face in it.
Okay.
I mean, let's face it, she's brought on all of this on herself. It's her own arrogance and entitlement that brings such pain on her. I don't mind letting her know that. So I think once the king and queen are dethroned, whether they be beheaded, that's a different story. But once they're out of the picture, then I have no trouble returning. Because everything against me is held by them, no one else.
Good to know.
One thing we need to be very careful of, though, and that's power vacuum.
Yes. That's why I want to make sure that they have somebody to take the place who is capable.
Someone capable and upstanding. Someone who's not going to fold to the pressure that would come in such troubling times. Because anytime you have a change in leadership, you're going to have troubling times because you're going to have people still loyal. And they need to be able to handle the loyalists.
Well,
Just a thought.
since the idea of infidelity would not work so much, advisory is something that Lily excels at as well.
Yes.
Definitely.
But then
And my friends here are also very strong in their leadership abilities and understand where we need to go versus where we've been.
Well, if you would like, I will see if Lily will come. But that is your call to make. This is your town.
It's the people's town, but I understand what you're saying, and I think that she would be a boon to this town, and there are those who would readily stand by her side in leadership over this town.
Well, I wouldn't want. I don't know that she would want to take a leadership role, but
It would help to start.
are you suggesting that we place one of my family members in charge of this town wholeheartedly
On contract,
on contract until somebody better can be found?
or until the town accepts the leadership of its own people.
Until a proper leader can be found.
An interim
Well,
leader.
we have a proper leader, but the respect level is not there yet. I can only remember his name. It's my friend. Yeah.
Hervin or Deal?
Yeah, Hervin.
Hervin.
Yeah. Hervin and Deal could easily lead this town if they had the respect of the people.
It sounds like they want to bring this town into the present and develop relationships with neighbors. Do
In a
they have
proper
the
way,
in a proper way? Do they have the
not
diplomatic
in a
knowledge to do
controlling
so?
way.
Well, yes.
Probably not.
The king, the queen, the prince, the idiot. Brianna. they would bring other towns into their fiefdom. They have no desire to anything other than being in charge of everyone they can be in charge of.
Very well. I will contact Lily and see if she is willing to advise.
They
That
sound like
works for
bad
me.
people.
Right. Yes.
I look to
And
the
when it
okay.
comes down to brass tacks, we make an agreement between Hervin, Deal, and Lily. Get it on paper, and if need be, we become the enforcers of it.
If need be, but I
Your
personally wouldn't
sister
want to.
respects us.
I wouldn't want to cross my sister.
I know, but
'Cause she's
she respects us. She understands us, and I think she has a good realization of just how persuasive we can be.
and when we're not persuasive, we're at least persistent.
Yeah. Well,
I'll-
who's been able to withstand us?
Just
Good
because
point.
it hasn't happened doesn't mean.
Doesn't mean it won't. That's the problem with running around with a bunch of men. Ego.
Tell that to Gira.
Very well.
While you guys were like conversing mentally, they were continuing to talk about like, do we have a miner that can guide you through the mines to the area that it seems to come out, making little maps of mines and various other things. So like talk has continued while you guys were having this conversation, just so you know. Not
They weren't
everybody
just
staring
standing
at
there
you
staring
guys.
at us.
Like, what are you guys doing?
I will
thinking.
interject. We can actually, we're very good at finding our way through places like that. I'm not going to tell them I've already been in those mines and know my way around. We're surprisingly good at finding our way through whatever obstacles present themselves.
Well, it will be most advantageous within the mines. They have gotten quite convoluted over the years.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and draw us up a map. We'll see if we need it in the end. Of course, then an Earth elemental can go right through them, but
But we don't need it.
Yes, but the rest of us cannot.
It's true.
Follow me. Ow.
Oh, whoops.
Follow me, clunk. While Forsyth's talking to them, I will try to connect with my sister.
Okay.
Let me see if I can. Wait, before.
Oh, you didn't roll that already?
Okay, yep, I'm good.
All right. All right. You take a moment and you kind of concentrate. You zone out just a little bit while they're talking, maps and getting something drawn out and whatnot. And you feel your sister. She's
Irritated at you. Oh.
fixed.
Isn't that a permanent condition?
And usually from siblings.
We know you're irritated with your sister all the time.
All the time. I can't stand the woman. Oh.
We love you, Rhonda. Even if Jody doesn't.
Jennifer posted something on Facebook today about why does the oldest Why does the oldest always feel like they have to be in charge of the family? I
Because they're the oldest.
commented to her thing because if we don't, nothing gets done.
Fair. Fair.
I would have commented back because we are.
Because we are.
Duh.
Anyway, you get in touch
Raise
with
your
her.
hand if you're the oldest in your family.
Not me.
Oh, my camera's off, but I'm raising my hand.
So
Chuck's
it's tough.
camera's off too, and he's raising
I'm
his
raising my
too.
hand.
That's why I like Chuck so much, because he's a firstborn and he gets it.
I'm a baby.
I was the second. I was just the smartest of them.
All right. Anyway, you get in touch with your sister, and she as we get off on tangents of siblings, and she's like, fix?
The one and only.
Oh, thank goodness.
What do you need?
Are you busy?
No, not at the moment.
Everything calm on the home front?
I mean, for the most part, we've had a few visitors come through, and it's been interesting. But yeah, no, Zybella seems to be taking it all in stride. She's doing well. She's starting to become quite fearless, which could be good or bad. Haven't quite decided which yet.
Do you think she could spare you for a few months?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Well, I need your leadership and advisory skills in White Lake.
All right, how soon do you need me there?
How soon can you get here?
Well, it depends on how close Joy Vey can get me. I don't know where she's gone.
I can always meet her somewhere and carry her in.
We can come get you.
Where is
Okay.
she at?
Ephraimon in the
Ephraimon?
Botany Forest. You've been there?
Okay. I've been there, but have I been there?
Whoa, what in the world?
Yeah. I turned my phone down.
Have I been able?
Except for I hit the wrong button.
Have I been there since I started studying plants?
I would say that there are some very recognizable plants there, because they build their trees upon them or their houses upon them, and you even hung out in the trees and stuff. You would recognize you
Okay.
are familiar enough with those trees and plants there that you would
All
be
right.
able to do that.
No problems here. I will volunteer to go get her there, but it'll take a day because I'll need to study the plants there and also regenerate the spell.
Okay. We'll come get you within the next day or two.
Very well. I will be ready, and I will let Zybella know.
Let her know
But
that I look forward to seeing her.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were coming.
She gets an emotional surge like, yeah, I'm going to be coming there if I have a chance.
No problem.
Very well. I'll let her know.
Thank you. Oh, you're stuck with me for 24 hours.
Joy.
I know, isn't it? Amazing.
Yeah, but we're going to need to spend tomorrow here.
Yes.
Then at the end of tomorrow, because we have the tour. At the end of
That's
tomorrow.
right. Tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow night, I will head off to Ephraimon.
Okay.
And then the next day, return.
1, 2. Yeah, that gives you enough time before the wedding or any pre-wedding events happen.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
always
well.
nice when it just things just work out time wise.
All right.
Do you
They
want to inform your
go ahead.
do you want to inform your compatriots of the change in plan and leadership structure?
You
Or is
talking
it a
about
surprise?
Hervin or you're talking Forsyth.
It's in the link. Yeah, it's
Okay.
in the link. Sorry.
I was like,
All right.
so far
I
all
will
of
have
that's been quiet conversation, so you're
I
gonna
will
get
have a
somebody very
discussion.
confused.
I will have a discussion with Hervin and Deal privately, and let them know what we plan on doing, and the whys and wherefores, and just lay everything out for them so that they're. But I will do it after this meeting is over. So we have a plan. I will let everyone know we have a plan, but as to how that plan proceeds, we're going to keep our own counsel on that for now.
Very well. The whoever's drawing the map kind of finishes it, unrolls it up. It says, "This is the map of the mine. When when do you intend to go into the mine? We'd like to give even spread the word a little bit among the miners to not go so deep when you plan on going in there. Unless you
2
plan, of
days
course,
hence.
going in there at night, then they might not even be there.
2 nights from tonight.
2 nights from tonight.
Yes, that's when we plan.
Very well.
We have pieces of plans, and that's when that fits into the schedule.
All right. Let me mark you down for.
Yeah. Well, if you want this done right,
I mean, of course we do. It just
yeah,
was
2
humorous.
nights from tonight. Thank you very much.
Two nights from tonight. Got it. All right. He kind of looks around the room and everybody kind of nods. So, all right. We will consider this. Oh, go ahead.
Do us a favor and keep your noses clean and out of trouble for the next handful of days. We don't want any complications.
Well, we're thinking the same about you. All right.
Well, what he really means is the less attention anyone draws, the easier it is for us to accomplish your goals.
This is true.
So, yeah, he's not trying to be mean or anything. It's just the reality of the situation is less eyes on, more accomplishment.
Yes. Um, you will hear a knock on the door, and somebody from kind of behind you kind of opens the door, and then he'll open it the rest of the way, kind of seeing who it is. There's a couple of wenches, barmaids, come in with some trays of drinks and like a charcuterie board kind of thing, and sets them down on the table that's in there, and then walks back out and closes the door. Um, Herman says, "This, I think we have accomplished everything that we need to for this evening. It's handy having somebody willing to take care of that creature. I think that is probably going to be our best option, is kill the creature, then confront the royals." So at this point, there will be a few people that begin to trickle out slowly. But at this point, this becomes a welcome party for some strangers in our town that is our best cover at this point.
Works for us. We love a good party.
All right. Help yourselves to drinks, food. He picks up a drink. He says, "I think this will work. I have hope."
And I will whisper in his ear, I need to talk to you and Deal as soon as we get a chance to be away from the rest of the white folk White
White Lake folk.
Lake folk.
I realized that didn't come
Wow.
out quite right, but
I'm
yes.
sorry. I'm not racist. I hate everyone equally. I didn't say I could speak, but
But yeah, so he will say, well, we will probably be the last to leave, so just
that
give it
would be good.
some time. So, and so they begin to pass out drinks and begin to eat some of the meats and cheeses and things like that that are on the boards that came in, and there's lots of chatter kind of going back and forth between people about normal things. How's the weather? How's your wife? How's your kids? How's your you know, like all normal things at this point. Is there anything you wish to do while you're kind of letting them converse and then
Letting the
start to
crowd die.
disperse? Yeah.
Converse and disperse. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
converse and disperse.
I look at my forge and consider taking it out, but I don't.
It would be tight in here at the moment, at least.
But I do take my jeweler's tools and start working on some pieces.
Okay. Uh, yeah,
You might garner interest on that
you'll
one.
get a couple of people in there that are kind of interested and chat with you about what you're making and how you do it and things like that. They're just making conversation. Nothing of very like
I will resist geeking out on the metallurgy and everything. And I'll just
I will resist.
show them. I'll show them what I'm making, and I won't even go into the metal or anything. Just kind of keep it very surface level, unless I'm asked about the metal. Like, oh my god, that's a weird metal. I've never seen it. What is it? And then
Yeah,
he's
no.
gonna have to roll to see if he can resist.
Yeah, then you will. No, they're not that in depth about it. They're just really what it seems like they're doing is they're trying to learn about you, basically, is what they seem to be doing.
And I'm friendly, but don't give them much information.
Yeah.
I'm going to look for a dark corner to hide in.
Well, there are 4 corners in here that seem to be darker than the rest of the room, but they are equally dark. And not that much dark to begin with. So
I'm going to try to find a place that's kind of away where there's not a lot of people, nobody's talking to me, things like that. Because I'm going to pull out my crystal orb.
I start fashioning a bell.
Because I don't have resistance.
You
I'm
got-
overwhelmed with my urges to do things.
so you are gonna fasten a bell permanently to like an ankle or a wrist or a like.
Well, right now I have to make the bell, so I'm just
Okay.
fashioning the bell,
All right.
and then I'm going to attach it to Evangeline.
All right, so you're gonna make your way to a corner and try to make yourself not personable. Don't talk to me, please. As you pull out a crystal orb and begin to look at that. Kadeth and Forsyth, you guys are both the tallest people in here. And you definitely get a lot of interest in both of you because, well, you're Vidalcan and you're a Goliath. So people will talk to you about, where are you from? What region of the world did you come from? Things of that nature. You'll get a lot of conversation. And Forsyth, you're pulling just about everything out your butt.
Yeah, but I'm good at that.
But you're good at that.
I'm a Vidalcan from Vidalca. Yes,
From
that's where we're from.
From the Western Sea.
There you go. Kadeth, I don't know how much you give about yourself. You've been pretty open thus far this campaign about
Yeah.
what you do and what you and whatnots.
The usual that I'm, servant of the Raven Queen, basically.
All right, you'll get some questions about that. Most of them have never heard of the Raven Queen or
So like
anything
you
of that nature.
And
Yeah.
I'll answer questions, but I'll keep it
Yeah.
relatively short.
All right.
for now.
Yeah, all of these people seem to just be wanting to get to know you. I mean, if you're going to help them save the town and kill a creature and save miners, they want to get to know you. So, and that goes for you too, Evangeline. As you pull out your orb and you start to kind of concentrate on it, a couple people do come up, but realizing that you're starting to do something, they kind of just stop and watch. What are you doing with this orb?
The same thing I usually do with it. Holly, I'm looking
Take
for
'em away.
Gavian.
Oh, now you're looking for Gavian. Okay.
It's like the Sphere in Vegas. Everyone wants to see it, even though it just sits there and shows pictures.
Yep. So you focus on the orb and you kind of focus in on Gavian. You do feel his pulse. It's closer than it has been. So you know that he's moved eastward. As you focus in on that pulse and really start to try to clear some visions, you see him on a road. It looks like there are mountains in the distance behind him. He's walking away from the mountains, so you know he's on the eastern side of the Black Riage. And you're just watching him travel for a little bit. He seems to be quite casual. He's not in a huge rush, but obviously he is traveling somewhat quickly or got teleported part of the way there, perhaps from Fennel, or something. He's headed. You figure he's headed toward Yashul based on what you've shared or what Fix has shared, or what he shared even through the message. So you figure he's probably headed toward Yashul. As you watch for a little bit, the vision starts to morph, which is really weird. It's never morphed like this before. Usually it's like a vision, and then it kind of fades and comes back in, fade out, fade in, fade out, fade in, or sometimes it's just a harsh change. Boom, it's just different. But as he's walking, you see him change a little bit. You see a scar appear. You see the scar on his arm. Oh, not even the scar. You see it ripped open, like flesh exposed. As he's walking, and as you're kind of watching him, it's almost like watching the healing process in fast forward. But the whole time he's walking toward Yashul, and it's almost like almost a crossover between possible future event and current event, and it seems to all be mushed together. It's really weird. You're not quite sure what to do. By the time the vision begins to fade,
Am I the only one
it
losing
looks like
Chuck and
Batman in
Jody?
your picture.
No, you're not the only
No.
one losing it.
Oh no, you
What?
lost me?
You
No,
you guys
there, but
both
you're-
froze for a few minutes in the middle of your
Oh
dissertation.
no.
And now Jody looks like she's using a webcam from 2001.
Well, on my end, it looks fine. Let me get all pixelated for you. Do you have me back? When did you lose
Yes.
me? Okay.
I think we heard most of what you said.
Most of what you said. I
Okay.
think that you kind of
But as
buzzed,
usual, we didn't understand it.
Of course.
I
buzzed
don't know if it
out.
was-
He's morphing like I'm looking at possible things and present things all at once.
Yes. Yeah. And then as the vision begins to fade, as it eventually does, as it begins to fade, it looks like the Gavian from the picture that you drew.
Okay.
So, and then the vision kind of fades out.
I will put the crystal orb away and look up.
Yeah, you have like two people looking at you and looking at the crystal and looking at you.
And I will just make contact with Six mentally and tell him again what I saw with Gabby. And then I will look at the two people standing there with me. May I help you?
No,
You,
that's
Ray.
go ta-da. Tell them ta-da, and they'll clap. Just watch.
Ta-da.
Ta-da!
Ta-da.
They get brave
I
enough to
will
ask
offer to read their future.
their future. I believe you can, sure.
Your future looks bleak.
Oh no. Even if you see bleakness in their future, you should probably give them good news. You're meeting these people for the first time.
I have a charisma of 8.
I mean, you could just be truthful with them and tell them you see a removal of a hardship in their future.
It's either your king, your monster, or your life.
For your life, whichever.
Maybe all three.
Your money or your wife?
Take my wife, please.
I will, if there's seats around me, I will offer for them to sit next to me.
Oh, sure. They will be interested in what you have to say. You know, you can make small talk or you can be very in depth, whatever you want to do. You can give
Evangeline does
one
not
word.
make small talk.
one word sentences. Come,
She
sit,
is
watch.
have a seat. And then I'll look back at everybody else. Remember, I'm the one who didn't greet the upper crust that I'm supposed to be respectful of until after the fact.
This is true.
Val.
This is true. Very true. Valid. Very valid.
I've got the charisma of an earthworm.
I mean, I think it's a little higher than that, but yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a grasshopper.
A wiggle worm.
All right. Yeah, well, they will attempt small talk with you to learn about what you do with that orb and whatnot. And
I spy on people.
you spy on people.
I will tell them I look for answers from the past. And then I'll think to myself, well, maybe I should not over inundate them with the book.
Probably not.
Why are you writing in a book
That's
with no ink?
Being written in.
Mind your business. That's all you do. Just mind your business.
Mind your business. Mind your business. After a bit of time, the people start to wander out, one or two at a time, not a whole herd of them leave it all at once. And after a little bit, it's just Hervin and Deal in there. And
now I'll pull out the book.
Empty mugs.
Because I've already seen that I think they're pretty okay. At least they have foresight back.
This is true.
Or did at one point, anyway.
This is true.
Okay, I will communicate with them and let them know that while we want them to be able to shine in their own city, to get them there, we're enlisting a little bit of help in the form of the sister of my companion, Fix. She is an expert in being a leader, in understanding how to communicate with people and how to work together with others. Our thought is to bring her in when we depose the king and queen and have her contract with you and with you two for you to become the leaders, but her to get you to the place where that leadership is accepted by the people.
That would be helpful. I mean, for us to become leaders, I mean, I know we would have a backing. Several people would be accepting of that already, but to have some guidance and some aid would be most appreciated.
Yeah, what I'm looking at is getting the people to accept you as leaders, and having someone who's a more forceful leader, but still benevolent, unlike what you have currently. It will be better to bring in someone like her, who we know that while we don't necessarily truly control her, she understands what we're looking for, and will be readily willing to help.
Well, it will be appreciated for sure. We do not neither one of us are very diplomatic. That is,
Right.
we say what we mean and we mean what we say, and sometimes that can come across rather differently.
Brusque.
Yes.
Yeah, I know about brusque. Let's face it, no one's more brusque than my sister.
That is true. Deal gets a little like, what? And Herman's like,
Oh, that's
he
right.
gets.
I will look. Please lock the door. No one
Herman
comes
will
in
go
here.
lock it. Buckley will
Yeah.
block it.
And
He'll sit down.
Six will go over
and
there
I
and put the immovable rod in front of it.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. And then I will. You better sit down for this.
He'll sit down.
And I will.
Or he'll sit down.
I will revert form to something he's more familiar with. The much shorter, much
shorter.
whiter, much less blue.
Much less blue.
Yeah. So that he knows what he's dealing with.
Deal will get a shocked look on his face. And
surprise!
Forsyth. It was wise of you not to come as yourself, that is certain. I see that you have finally mastered the changes of your shape.
I've mastered many things. This is minor. When you see I'm not going to take the form, but hey, if you want to see an earth elemental, join us in the
I don't know that I will make it through the mine.
Yeah. I'm just saying that there are many things that can happen.
I can talk you out of trouble. I'm not much for the fighting.
Yeah. Well, I still have a golden tongue, and very light fingers.
Oh, I would say they were sticky, not light, but anyways.
Yeah, except now I can, steal from afar. But anyway.
I do have a question for you, Forsyth, and this is said out loud.
Yeah.
Will they know, the people that is, will they know who she actually is?
Who Lily is or who Brianna is?
Who Lily is. Will she use the Trinston name?
I would recommend not.
Agreed. I'm sure she has plenty of aliases.
Yeah.
I believe she probably has aliases for her aliases.
She's probably even known here in White Lake by some of those aliases because trade routes and all that.
Maybe.
I mean, their big export is coal.
Yeah. That
and she didn't
soup.
She didn't ask me where White Lake was or what. Yeah, never mind. It is Lily.
So yeah, I'm just saying chances are likely that she is definitely going to have people who know who she is here.
I'm sure she'll know how to handle it.
Yeah, she's not a dummy.
All right then. Well, 2 nights from now, you take care of the mine. I will be when you come out with proof of this creature. Um, Deal and I will be ready. We will be outside the mine. We will wait, unless you think something better would be.
No, I think that might be best. We wouldn't want to endanger you because we would be relying on you to lead this people after all this goes down.
All right then. We will be at the mine's entrance. We will encourage what miners may have to be there because of work. We will encourage them not to go deep or discourage them from coming altogether if we can.
A nice holiday
That's
time.
Also speak with your scribe and put down on parchment the terms that you think are favorable.
I will. We will work on that. And then in 2 days' time, then, and he'll raise his glass.
Until then,
And then he'll set it down. I'll say, I will be heading home then for the evening. It is late. And fools around with the immovable rod for a minute. Till he figures it out.
I walk over and I pick it up and I remove it.
All right. He'll open the door and head out. Deal follows him right behind. Oh, and before he leaves it, you may want to change your shape back, Forsyth.
oh yes, indeed. I shan't be letting anyone see me in this form, at least not until after this all goes down.
Yes, perhaps when we remove your sister from certain position, it may become safe for you again, actually.
Yes, maybe it will.
Well, farewell and good night.
Good night.
And they leave. Anything you wish to do between now and the time you head out to Ephraimon? Because you have about 16 hours-ish, other than going back to Turtle Inn, turning in,
Going on a tour.
going to sleep. Oh yeah, the next morning you go on a tour. That's right. The next morning, I know I gave him a name. I don't remember what his name was. I can't find it in my notes. I didn't like highlight it and put a square around it or anything. I don't remember what I named him.
Was it Gregory?
I don't know, something like that.
Huh. I'm gonna call him
Wasn't
Gregory
George,
anyway.
was it?
Or George.
No, it wasn't George because I was trying to get you to use George.
Oh, I didn't want to use George. I wanted to use Wilford
Well, that's right.
because I knew I'd remember that.
That's true. That's valid. Sure, we'll go with Gregory. He meets you at the front of the Turtle Inn. Do all 4 of you go on this tour in Buckley, I'm assuming?
That was the plan.
Okay.
Over the night,
Yeah.
I will do spell storing,
Okay.
heroism
Okay.
into my
Into your book.
no.
Or oh no, you have a
No. It's an infuse or it's an artificer
yeah.
feature.
Okay.
And I will store it into my hand axe.
Okay. Heroism in the hand axe. Heroism? How would you say? I don't even know that I'm saying that right.
Heroism.
Heroism. That
Heroism.
sounds right. Like I am not saying it right.
And it's a concentration spell. 1 round. I
Okay.
believe, but I can use it 10 times.
Shnikes. Okay.
Yeah, I might figure out this artificer by
the end of the campaign.
By the end. There's something else that I want to do, but I have to figure out how to do it.
All right. Well, and this guy, Gregory meets you in the morning for the tour, and he bids good morning. You guys have some breakfast, and he begins to take you around town. He shows you some various places, such as the statue of Celiscor, the founder of the town. He will show you where the town hall is, which has the library next to it or attached to it. He will show you where the original buildings sat when the town first started. Some of them are still there. Some of them have been torn down and moved and whatnot, or just torn down, and other buildings have been rebuilt. He will show you the area of the square that they hold festivities and usually put up a stage, things of that nature. You know, anything that you can think of as far as the town goes. He will show you the direction of the mines and let you know that, those are the major import or major exports. He will talk about the Feryx turtles in White Lake, which is where the White Lake gets its name. It's from their eggs. They always, when they harvest the eggs, they always make sure they leave enough to replenish them for the following year, et cetera, et cetera. So anything you wish to know about the town in specific, because he's giving you the general tour.
Over the link. So is this dude actually accurate and pretty good at this, Forsyth? Because he could tell me that this was, the great tree of the
Most of
north.
what he's telling you is actually true. But let's face it, he's in it for the money.
Oh yeah, aren't we all?
Oh, not me.
He doesn't have to be in it for the money. He'll just take it. It's fine. But yeah.
So-
I mean, he's accurate. He flourishes. He might be adding a few details here and there to make it sound interesting, but it's
Let's
accurate
face it, he
for the most
wants a
part.
tip. So I'm not going to deny him his due, but let's face
You
it,
might
he's in
steal
it
it
for
afterwards.
yeah.
Well, I don't got any questions. After the tour, I'll give him like 50 gold.
Oh, dang. Hey, if you need another tour.
Hey, big
Realizing
Dinner,
that's
spender.
sir.
Yeah.
probably like 5 years of the average commoner's wages.
Oh, yeah. You set him up for quite some time. He's like, well, I thank you. If you should need any assistance or guidance, please. You can find me mostly here at the Turtle Inn, but otherwise, I'm around town.
Well, tell you what, keep an eye out. Anybody starts snooping around about us, let me know. And there may be
I
more.
will do that. Indeed. It
Thank you.
will not be hard to hear that information if they start talking about the strangers in town.
Mm.
Because I think you're the only ones right now.
All right.
All right. And then he will go on and leave you to the rest of your day while you wait for Forsyth to have the ability to get you out of there.
Well, I already have the ability to get us
Oh,
out of here.
okay.
It's having to spend the night there, so I have the ability to get
Get
us
you
back.
Mhm.
Valid.
So Fix goes and he like gets all clean and fresh and dolled up and polished armor, all that fun stuff.
Fix comes in like he's ready for a date.
What's her name?
Zybella?
She's here.
Not yet. We're going to, well, I'm going there and Forsyth's going there. You don't have to go there.
Yeah, I guess I could.
Split the
Yeah.
party. Split the party.
Split the party. Split the party.
Who is making a trip to Ephraimon? Is everybody going? Evangeline's
Yeah.
the only questionable one, which is why you have to put a bell on. But I mean, Ephraimon or here, you're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be reading your book, looking at your orb.
Before I do anything and make any decisions, I'm going to pull out the stone.
Sending
Which
stone?
stone? Oh, the sending stone?
The stone,
Okay.
the sending
Yep.
stone with Gavian.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, you know about my ability withdrawing. I have seen bad things for you with dragons, so be cautious as you journey, my love.
All right.
Response. Cool.
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 Cool beans.
No, he gets places with flattery. He will respond. I'm always cautious. I'll keep my eye to the sky. Don't worry, I'll see you again, love.
And then I'll go. Okay, I'm ready.
I
You
think our
guys are all
next stop
drama
after.
queens.
Tell me again about your sister, Forsyth.
Okay, enough said.
All right, you
Kadath is the only one that takes things in stride.
Yep.
Yeah, because he's got no life.
Are you kidding?
He's
I don't
got
need to. I got all you guys for entertainment.
Good ass, Kadeem.
I mean, we are talking about the person that went and like came out covered in blood, right? That's sign of dramatic.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's not
He-
dramatic.
he's the silent dramatic type.
Mm,
I'm
Or
not
when he
dramatic
does
at all.
drama, he goes all the way.
right?
All right, you guys get together. You find a place. Forsyth, you know the ins and outs of the town. You know where to
Right.
go. To find a place to slip on out and head. You come out of a bush area, just on the edge of Ephraimon. Like when I say on the edge, you're actually within the city, but you're not like in the middle of the city.
We didn't pop in town square.
No, you did not pop out in town square, but you did pop out on the edge of the city. And you are in Ephraimon. And this is where we're going to take a break because I need to go to the bathroom. Yeah.
All right.
We'll be back in 10. Ish.
All right, we'll be right back. 2.
And welcome back. We are just arriving in Ephraimon. And as you kind of walk into the town, you see Zybella heading out with Lillian. And she smiles. She says, Fix, welcome back.
How far? Yeah, he smiles and walks up and just kind of grabs her and gives her a big old smooch.
She will return in kind, covering the distance. She's taller than you. She's an elf.
She is an elf and a dwarf. Yes,
Yep.
what a pair.
They're gonna make baby dwells.
Dwelt.
Hey, better dwells than earths.
I'm gonna have some peculiar looking nieces and nephews.
I wonder what that. Okay, now I gotta Google.
Oh my goodness. After greeting Fix, she will greet the rest of you and say, welcome back. I have rooms, of course, for you to stay in. Come. It is lunchtime, or whatever time. I know it's not morning.
Yeah, it'd be a lunch, I would think.
It is time to eat. Let's go.
It's 11sies.
It's 11sies. See, I could get with the culture. But she'll lead you to the estate, going up the tree to where she stays. Um, and while you're eating, Lillian, Zybella will just kind of sit there and be quiet because she knows that she's been informed that you need Lillian's assistance on something else. So she's going to just sit there and listen. But Lillian asks, so you need my assistance in White Lake to aid some upcoming leaders? What am I walking into?
It's gonna be a coup.
A coup.
A coup. I'm walking into a coup.
A coup no matata?
Yeah, no, I don't. Can't say no worries with that. So a coup, is this going to take place before I arrive? Like you
No,
are taking? It's gonna be after I get there.
about the same time.
Okay.
No, because you're gonna run it.
Okay. I'm not sure that that's in my wheelhouse, but I'll do my best.
Well, here's the sitch. The current rulers are a bunch of corrupt and generally awful people that the populace would like to stand up to and remove from their seat of power. We're going to assist them in that, but as you know, any removal of power lends to a power vacuum. We
Indeed.
have people in mind that we'd like to take over that role of leadership, but they're unversed in the ways of leadership and mostly diplomacy. So we need you to take a strong stance next to them and help them lead and handle diplomacy, and then gracefully step away when the time is right.
I believe that I can do that.
See, I wouldn't give you anything I didn't think you could do.
Well, I didn't think you would, but I'm not one for battle, so
I'll leave that to us.
okay. Oh, and while we are there, um, I am Jahara.
Yes.
They know me as Jahara.
No problem.
What do they know you as?
I was for a brief while king consort.
Interesting.
Any negative feelings for us dethroning your consort?
No, not at all. That's why I left White Lake. I was more or less divulging secrets of the throne. He's not a nice man.
No. I'll look to Forsyth. Do you really think simply outing them and putting them on trial is actually going to accomplish our goals? Because I'm very much leaning towards I'd like to kill these people now. Or is
I'm,
this one personal?
I'm more
What?
of the.
You never.
I'm more of
You
the
were very
inclination.
diplomatic when we were there. Do you have a legit reason?
Oh, see, the difference is I already have the backing that I need. Now I'm just looking for an excuse. I'm going to be honest about it.
Well, you've got one. She's related to you.
I would recommend, rather than trying to, I'll say, expose them, because as far as the town goes, they're already exposed. Taking them out of the situation, whether that means imprisoning them elsewhere for a time, so that all their power evaporates.
Hey, we know somebody we can send them to.
Correct.
Oh, we do.
We'll send them to Ordith.
Ooh, he would like that.
You might like that
I-
too much.
Step right on through.
Oh, you don't want to step right through Kadath? Please help them.
And cover your eyes and ears.
Well, if that
So-
fails, we do have a dungeon with a
We can
very
always
chatty
slit their
gentleman.
throat if we need to, but I'd say let's hold off on that and use it as a last ditch effort.
I think I should have to do an alignment check, although I am chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral. Chaotic neutral. No, you're golden.
I'm thinking a few months ago I suggested killing a baby.
This is the wonderful
probably
thing
did.
about my position. I'm a true neutral. I can play any part, including chaotic evil,
If you need to.
if it fits my purposes.
Well, it fits my purposes. Let's get these people out, shoot, and move on.
Right.
My man's in trouble. Come on.
Well, we can't
Like I
return
said,
until tomorrow.
I'm being patient as I can be.
If it hurts her, I'm fine with it.
I'll look to Lily and look her straight in the face. Do you want him dead?
I mean,
Drop the diplomatic pretenses. Do you want him dead?
a death would be the sweet revenge. But if it doesn't serve a purpose, there is no cause.
It would make me feel better? Is that a never mind.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, do whatever you want, brother. You are within your power to do so. I mean, personally, if I were in a room by myself with him, given the opportunity, would I slit his throat? Quite possibly.
So it may be more satisfaction. There may be more satisfaction in him having to see you take his seat of power.
Oh, yeah, that would be a turn of events. Haven't been there in years.
He just gives her a look of, I really need to look at the reports or something like that.
I have been remiss in learning the history of the Jacket Dream.
Yes.
Well, when the time comes, Fix, you'll learn of my exploits there.
Yeah.
Or
But
when
today
you
is
decide to
today.
read it.
And we have until tomorrow before we can return. So,
Well then, enjoy your stay. I mean, I guess it would be hard not to, as she looks over to Cybella.
and at this point, Fix is kind of checked out, and he's like looking over at Isabella, and he offers his hand up, and he's like, "Shall we?"
She smiles and she said, "Absolutely." She'll take
Is
your
she
hand.
actually talking?
Oh no, she's mentally.
Okay, yep. Just want to
Yeah,
make sure.
no, mentally. Everything's mental for her.
So she has spoken to Fix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Very,
So
very
right
few words.
after a long, drawn out convincing of her to do so.
Yep, few words.
So he takes her hand and they depart.
They leave. Lillian's still eating. She looks at the rest of you and. So, what do you plan on doing in as part of this coup? Like, is this something that I should stay hidden until this takes place, or is this something that I can start going in and creating whispers, getting the people riled? I don't know. Get talk going while you are doing whatever it is you're doing. Or perhaps it is better that the less I know is preferred. I've been in those situations too. She is talking to you guys, Forsyth, Evangeline, and Kadeth, because Fix is out of the room. Do I just need to be a pretty face, or should I hide until you tell me to come out? Or should I hide and start whispers that Jahara is returned? Well,
Well, if Jahara returned and there's a sudden coup, people would probably believe that you're behind it.
that is very true. Which could actually take the pressure and the heat from the true leaders that you would like established. I can take that heat. That's valid. I will start rumors when we return. I will let a few see me and let the rumors begin. Sounds like a plan.
It might not be a bad idea at that.
All right. They'll finish the food. She'll show you the rooms. And what anything you would like to do for the next roughly 10 hours or so,
Didn't
12
isn't
hours.
I want to
there
rest.
a conglomerate of temples
There is indeed.
that have been started?
Well, they at least came in to help Cybella. Not necessarily that they started a temple, but they came in to help Cybella in some of the religious aspect, because you did just destroy a god that everybody, or at least destroyed the belief of the god that everybody had followed here. And yes, I don't remember the priest. I think it was a priestess that was here. I do not remember her name right offhand. If you look at the thing, I believe the Order of Truth came in here and the Order of Balance, and I think they came in as such, not necessarily as followers of God.
So there is an order of truth in the town. Representatives in the town.
I believe so. Their name is not on this list, so I can't dig it up right now because it would take me 15 minutes.
Won't take me 15 minutes.
It'll take me forever. But yes,
unless
I
this thing falls on my head.
I believe it was Erwin that came in, who is not there right now, from the Order of Balance to aid Zybella.
Yep.
And then I believe it was a priestess, I don't remember her name, came in from the Order of Truth to help with beliefs and religions and things of that nature.
And we are in Ephraimon.
I know
That was a long time ago.
that was quite some time ago. Ephraimon and the
That was like
discovery
a
of
year ago.
Philolio. Yeah, it was a while ago.
I do not have any names established.
Okay. Yeah.
It was
I will look
Erwin,
it
I
up.
do know that.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I'm
I'll look
usually
that up
pretty
and get
good
that
about
to you
putting
later.
them on here, so.
Priestess Penelope.
No.
I don't know. We'll call her Penelope.
Spelled with a
for now.
Q, I suppose.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what you usually do with me.
Penelope with a Q. Yeah, so you go and search her out.
All right.
Is that what you do?
Yes.
Okay. You start asking a few questions around the upper section, because you're sure that that's probably where she is. And eventually you find her in, they suggest going to the Owl's Nest.
The Owl's Nest.
And so you make your way
I heard
to
it's a hoot.
It is a hoot. You go to the Owl's Nest and you see your...
Is it the Owl's Nest where I finally got the recipe for the kiss?
It was. And you see her drinking a kiss. Obviously, the people here like it. And so they kept serving it.
Okay. I will go up and talk to her.
All right.
And I will, of course, introduce myself in case she doesn't know who I am, which she probably doesn't. And
she will. The name seems familiar to her. She's like, yes, you were part of the group that helped rid the town of some evil shenanigans.
yes.
Zybella has informed me, or she'll probably say Lady Zybella has informed me.
Do we have an established order here, or is it just you?
At this moment, it is just me. Given the order's stance on abhumans and such, it is just me at this time, but I believe we probably will establish something here fairly soon. I've been talking to High Priest Rocktiff, and he seems quite willing to back the project.
Do you have the capability to get to Rockdiff? Or do you just communicate with him?
I just communicate with him. I mean, if I needed to teleport somewhere, I'm sure Joy Bay would aid me in that. There's been a couple of times I've gone back and directly to the order, but not many. Usually I only go back if I have a list of things I need to talk to High Priest about, not just, hey, we're doing fine.
Are you doing fine in Ephraimont?
Yeah, things are going around quite smoothly.
They are welcoming?
Oh, yes.
And you have no problem?
None.
Personal problems with abhumans?
I mean, perhaps when I was younger, but being here and having been exposed to several, I have not had any problems.
That is good to hear.
Perhaps why they send me on such journeys.
I will remember that.
Absolutely. Remember, spelled with a Q.
Spelled with a Q. QPEN.
Yep.
Well, I'm very glad that things are going well here.
Absolutely.
I hope that we continue to establish an order here of a different nature.
She kind of raises an eyebrow.
One of goodwill.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
And actual truth.
Actual truth. Wouldn't that be a breath of fresh air?
True truth.
True truth.
It actually would.
All right.
And I'll have a drink with her.
All right. She'll drink with you.
And then I'll go see if I can find Joy Bay.
Okay.
After.
Okay. Kadath and Forsyth, is there anything that you wish to do for this time period?
Forsyth wants to sleep.
Oh yeah, Forsyth, you're sleeping.
Yeah, the quicker
got
I get
shown-
recovered, the better.
Yeah, you were shown your room. You went, oh good, and you climbed right in bed.
Fix has paid somebody to continuously wake him up every hour or two.
To wake up Forsyth?
Yes.
When you get back to the area, you probably have a person with a very bruised and broken body.
Yeah.
You will let me sleep.
There was enough for a short rest and a nice wind elemental.
You're sleeping, Forsyth. Cadet, what are you doing?
I don't really have anything to do.
Just float around town, check out the
Yeah.
sights, have a drink,
Say hi to people.
say hi to people. Cool. Most people are everybody's really very friendly to all of you if you're about town. They remember you, and they seem grateful and willing to aid in whatever you might need as best to their ability as they can. What do you go see Joy Bay about? I mean, you go down to her little root hut,
right,
and knock on the door.
I'm going to ask her about teleportation, if she knows of the City of Bridges, and can she go to the City of Bridges?
She says, I do know of the City of Bridges. I have not been that far west. Well, north, I guess I should say. Because it's on the coast. Like, Key is darn near on the coast. But I've not been that far north. I have, of course, been to Key. And I once took a trip to the sacred monoliths, which is fairly close to the city of Bridges. But I've only been there once. They were an interesting sight to see, of course.
Perhaps. For this time, perhaps could you possibly take me to Key and bring me back?
I can do that. You plan on staying the night in Key or just there and back again?
Not particularly, not stay the night. I will tell her. I kind of would like to make it a quick trip, and preferably while Fix is preoccupied.
Very well. I'm sure Isabella has his attention at the moment. Are you ready now?
I am ready now.
All right. Let us go then. She'll do her thing. And you'll pop in to the Trinson estate, where a couple of the Jennifers are like, whoa. And so they're like,
I will just look at them and go, shh. And I will make my way to the Durkal.
okay. Joy Bay will hang out at the Trinson estate. The Jennifers will take care of her. You head to the Durkal. I'm imagining you're going to see Rockdiff.
Actually, I'm using the Durkal. I will see Rockdiff, but I'm actually going to see the Amber Pope.
Waypoint. Got it. You walk through the Durkal with a purpose. Some of the pages are quick to scatter out of your way. Some of the priests even kind of take a bow to you. There is apparent that there has been a power shift here at the Durkal.
Power shift at the Durkal.
And you walk on through. You go into the room. You pull back the tapestry. It's there. You walk on through. When you walk into the office, you see Kilmock look up and go, what a pleasant surprise. What brings you to my office? He is in human form, of course.
It is just a quick trip.
You are here to pick up your cape, are you not? Or your cloak?
I would love to see if my cloak is done.
It is indeed. Maus has actually dropped it off in anticipation of your
arrival.
Quite possibly arrival. A little earlier than we anticipated, but yes. And he goes over to like a closet wardrobe. He opens it up and he pulls out the cloak. I forget what you wanted it done.
I'll put the cloak on.
I haven't put it on.
And when when I put the cloak on, it looks like I am dressed in my robes.
Oh, that's right.
And you cannot tell that I have equipment on, because now I have this mantle attached to my body.
This is true.
And sometimes I just want to look normal.
All right. It is basically
sometimes
a glamour.
That's even possible.
Yes.
It's a cloak of glamour.
That's what you told me before. Yep. It would be basically that.
All right. He smiles when you put it on and attune to it. You have an attunement slot, right?
I do have an attunement slot.
Because I was like, I think you have to attune to this. So
I have 5 attunement slots.
Artificers, man. What? All right.
Oh my! I told Rick the other day. I said, "What do you do with all these attunement slots?"
So, and he smiles as you attune to it and get it to look like, robes. So yeah. That'll come in handy. That will serve you well.
I certainly hope so. Have you heard any about the dragons?
I have heard about upheaval in the east beyond the Black Riage. Some word has crossed the mountains that the dragons are moving. They're coming back, it seems.
They seem to be, yes.
Now, this could be a bad thing, or it could be a good thing.
We hope that there will be goodwill. We did release the betrothed of the gold dragon's son from her prison.
We are talking the great dragon.
Yes.
From like the second age, his son is still alive?
Yes.
Wow. We had not heard. He has been hidden well.
I am in hopes that there will be goodwill there.
Well, let us hope so.
Goodwill Industries.
The great dragon was of gold nature, which tend to be quite good and helpful, or at least
we will see how it goes. We have heard of some. We actually, well, when I say we lightly, I did not fight. I was following directions from a god to the location
I'm not
of
surprised.
the betrothed. But the rest of the party did fight a dragon. And there has been some rumors of possibly some dragons being aggressive. And I'm going to pull out the picture I drew.
Okay.
Because I drew it on regular parchment.
Right.
Of Gavian.
Of Gavian, yep.
And I'm going to unroll it in front of him.
Okay. It's like,
This has not yet happened.
Well, some great beast definitely, and he points kind of to his scar on his arm and some of the marks on the armor. He says this definitely looks like a clawed beast of great size that caused this. I don't know about the scar on the face, but this could very well be dragon. It's possible. I will say that much.
That is my fear. Of course, he already knows it's Gavian because he knows who Gavian is.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I'm afraid of. We are currently taking care of some issues in White Lake.
White Lake, yes.
But we have taken a bit of a detour for a day or so to Ephraimon. Which, by the way, Priestess Penelope with a Q.
It's canon.
I
don't care what her name was. That's what it is now.
Is doing a wonderful job.
Good. I usually send her on the missions beyond because of her proclivities to those that typically the Order of Truth does not associate with.
Are there others in the Order
there are quite
with those same proclivities?
Oh, yes. There are quite a few. Rockdiff is one of them. He would not be where he is today if he was not.
He would probably be a good choice, but he would probably be better off here.
Oh, yes. Yes, I know I need him to be my liaison to the Dark Hall.
If there is another, I would suggest sending them to Ephraimon to establish a hold in Ephraimon that is one of goodwill and acceptance.
Yes, I can. I could send another to be with Penelope with a Q.
Penelope with a Q. With a Q or last name? With a Q.
With a Q.
With a Q.
No, that's her whole name. It's just
That's her
Penelope
whole-
with a Q.
She goes by one name, Penelope with a Q. She doesn't like anybody to shorten it either.
Okay, with a Q.
Yes, I will. I will send another.
Representative.
Are you headed back there soon?
I am headed back there at the completion of my discussion with you.
Okay.
And with Rockdiff if I need to discuss with him.
There is a priestess currently, I believe, in the Dirk Hall. Check with Rockdiff. Her name is Dina. She would be an excellent choice to go and mentor a bit with Penelope with a Q. And probably be able to do the same.
I will meet with Rockdiff when I go back to the Dirk Hall.
Very well.
I must bid you adieu early. I promise the next time we'll have dinner.
Excellent. I'll hold you to that.
And I will depart the same way I came in.
All right.
And go to the Dirk
And you
Hall
leave.
and find Rockdiff.
You find Rockdiff, and Rockdiff will inform you that Dina is indeed at the Dirk Hall. She is currently in the library, the small library that they have there. She's studying up about the eastern side of the Riage as best as she can. That's her preferred area of study. So one day we will send her out there.
We should do that now.
Very well. Let us go. He'll lead you to the library. He'll introduce Dina, who is a young woman, probably close to your age. And she greets you with a bow, which you kind of just hand wave, but it's
starting to make me curious.
like,
Okay.
okay, this is not the only one that's done this. But she'll greet you with a bow, and she will say, "Do I need to come with you now?"
Yes.
Very well.
Bring the books that you wish to study.
Very well. She'll pick up. She picks up about 3 books. She's like, I am ready.
Then we shall go.
Very well.
Follow me.
And she gives you a nod, and she'll follow you wherever you walk. She's about, I don't know, 2 feet behind you.
I will take her back to the Trinston house. And I will look and see if Phileathus is there.
And she would need to make a save.
Phileathus is not there. This is the first time you've not seen him there. He is not there.
Interesting. Are the
She's
Jennifers
fired.
around?
Oh yeah, the Jennifers are around.
Will you please get Joy Vey for me?
Absolutely, they will go and they'll bring.
Where's he at?
They will look at you a little confused.
Who?
Where
They don't
Who
see the
at?
do they don't see the statue missing. Can I tell that?
You're not sure if they don't see the statue missing or if they see that the statue is there. You're not quite sure.
Oh, I could do an insight check, but that would suck. Because I got no charisma. I will say, do you see the statue?
Oh yes, the statue. It is a well, the mistress, of course, always calls him a guardian of the household, and by all rights, whatever effects happen around this grounds, especially of late, definitely kind of solidifies that they're guarding the household. But I don't. He's always there. I mean, we've never seen it move. We've never seen it do anything. It's just a statue. Must have some kind of magical property that the mistress and probably now lord of the household um, can call upon.
Very interesting. And I will look in the direction of the statue that I obviously don't see.
Looking at nothing.
But not to let on, I will look at him anyway and do my normal if they've ever seen me walk in and out of the door. While I wait for Joy Bay.
All right. Joy Bay comes through and she's like, oh, okay. You ready to go then?
I am, and we have somebody who will be joining us.
Very well. And she greets Dina and introduces herself as Joy Bay from Ephraim. And we shall leave it immediately. She does her magic, and you're back in Joy Bay's house.
And do I have to roll? I mean,
Yes.
not only 2 in the same day, but 2 in the same hour, practically.
Well, that is quite true. Roll me your Constitution.
Constitution.
2 in the same hour. It is darn near the same hour. You guys are not going to get to this beast. By golly.
That was an 11.
And 11. You feel yourself being a bit queasy, but you manage to hold it together. Dina is kind of a little like disoriented at first. You pick up that she's probably never teleported before, actually. And so she's a little disoriented at first, but she gathers herself rather quickly and begins to look around and just kind of waits for you to give her instructions.
I will thank Joy Bay for her assistance.
Of course, I won't be able to do this again until at least tomorrow, so if you need...
I don't think we're planning on leaving before tomorrow, so that's okay. And I will take Dina, and I will go in search of Penelope with a Q. I will introduce them, and I will tell Penelope with a Q that with the blessing of the Amber Pope, I have brought Dina to you. She has books to study about this side of the Riage Mountains. I would like for you to guide her in establishing a benevolent and truthful establishment of the order here to begin building relations with this side of the Black Riage and those that dwell here.
She says it would be my honor. And she will have Dina join her wherever she stays. She's like, you can stay with me until we get your own room or whatever. And they will begin to converse a little bit.
I will thank them, and I will leave them to develop. I'll tell them I'm staying wherever I'm staying, that where they know to get me.
All right.
I think we usually stay at the Owl's Nest, so.
Well, you have rooms at the actual royal house at the moment.
Oh, okay. But we don't have to. We don't have to all share with Fix, right?
No. No, because if you had to share with Fix, 10 to 1 says you'd end up in Zybella's room.
If there is a room made up for Fix, it's probably not even going to be
It's,
opened.
it's empty. It's empty. For appearance's sake, there is a room for Fix.
Then I will be at the royal household, whatever
Yep.
they call it.
Yep, they will let you know. Zybella goes on an evening excursion with you. It can last all night. She is perfectly okay with that. She is enjoying your company. Is there anything in particular and specific you wish to discuss with her or anything, or just flirtatious antics? A little black curtain action.
Probably more than a little black curtain action, but an excursion, yes. And while on the excursion, uh, he's going to present her with a gift, a small titanium ring with a small crystal from the crystal fields.
She will smile and accept your gift. Just as this for a promise to come.
Every time I'm able to, yes.
She will either let you put it on or she'll put it on herself, whichever.
He'll put it on.
Okay. And you can catch her out the corner of your eye every now and then, kind of fiddling with it and looking at it, and just playing with it.
She wants a real one.
It is a real one.
She wants a platinum one with a 2-carat diamond.
This one's probably worth more.
Probably. That would be out of her, like, I mean, she's a wood elf. She's not extravagant.
And I sent you the picture of what it looks like.
Uh-huh.
It's very,
It's
yeah.
very pretty. I actually like it. Yeah. So yeah, you spend the evening with her. Morning comes. Forsyth is comes in a little groggy and ready to do what he needs to do after breakfast. I mean, he did get woken up a few times, so he's a little sour at the moment.
Hey, it bought me a couple extra hours, so.
And someone else is hurting.
I'll pay for their medical bills.
So
You guys ready to go?
No, but I think we need to.
I would
Lillian.
like to get a look at the outside of the mine in the daylight before we enter it at night.
Valid.
I can barely hear you, Senior.
Yeah, he is a lot quieter than he has been.
Sorry. I want to look at the mine in the daylight before we get there at night.
Okay.
All right. You guys pack up. You get ready to go. When Lillian comes out, she's dressed in a little bit more risque of an outfit. Her hair is done up in a manner that kind of gives her almost a crown appearance. Think Padme, only not as big. Like it's smaller, you know. Done up in kind of a crown kind of way, and put in with gold pins that have pearls on them. And she says, "Okay, let us be on our way."
You know, sister, of all the family and all those within the The jagged dream. You're the one that impresses and scares me the most.
Well, I'm sure put to a test via swords or magic or anything of that nature, you could quickly put me on my ass. But in the ways of nobility, I think I got you beat.
I would concur.
Don't look at me. I just opened the door.
Mm-mm.
All right, let's go make another queen.
Oh no.
We are the queen makers.
The queen
She
makers.
she will not be the queen. We will not be there permanently.
She's more of a regent.
I'm much more valuable to be mobile, trust me. Let us go.
Hmm.
And Forsyth opens up the plants. You step through to where you left the day before.
After giving Zybella one last kiss and before heading off.
Mm-hmm. And once you all step through, she looks at you. Unless you need me, I will work my magic, and I probably won't see you again until after the coup.
And remind me of the name again?
Jahara.
Jahara.
Yep. Simply
Jahara.
Jahara.
Very well.
And she walks off quite confidently. Walks off in a direction between a couple buildings. She disappears around a corner. She's gone.
Shall we go to the mines?
If you want, I can just scout it from the air.
Whatever you feel is appropriate.
Yeah, they do have giant eagles around here, so let me go ahead and just scout it from the air, determine everything we need to know, and then we can go from there. You guys can rest until we get to this evening.
All right. You guys head toward the Turtle Inn, hang out there for a little bit, while Forsyth ducks away and turns into a giant eagle and takes flight. Forsyth, you take flight over the town. You kind of do a swooping action around the town. Um, Town's not much different than what you remember. It's grown a little bit, like there's a few other buildings in there toward the outskirts, but it's not much different than you expect. You fly over to the mine. You notice immediately that there is some difference at the mine, though the entrance pretty much looks the same. There is definitely a guard presence at the mine. This is not just the miners anymore. There's like
Right.
actual people that are like barking orders and checking people and various other things, at least during the day. Not sure about at night, but so you kind of watch them for a little bit as you fly around. The entrance to the mine looks the same. You do see a couple of miners that are just they look tired. They're tired. They don't want to go into the mine. They don't, and the ones that are coming out just kind of look, I don't know, like spirit is crushed. So they're not physically hurting, but they're just emotionally done with it. You can see that the morale of the miners is just kind of crushed per se. You do see them pulling out carts of coal and dumping them into other wagons and carts, and they're being caught. It is very active mine. Is what you're
Right.
seeing at least during the day, and
Do
that's what you
can
see.
I make out the names on the carts, the company that owns them, etc.?
Oh, um, well, as you're flying around, you do see that all of the carts just say White Lake Mining,
Okay.
which from your recollection, White Lake Mining has always been the mining company that's like owned this,
Right.
and it's always been owned by the king.
One thing I want to look at is the tracks. Are there more tracks than there used to be, or are they still going the same direction they used to?
Um, Pretty much the same direction as they used to. However, there's two tracks in the mine. One of them seems to be bringing carts out. One of them's putting empty carts in.
Right.
And so they do pass frequently. Um, but that's the only entrance that you see.
Okay.
So it's a little like, okay, in and out. But you do see multiple carts, more carts than what you remember. Like there'll be one that comes out, and before you can even take a turn, a second one will come out. Like it's like they've upped the production of the mine, and
Okay.
same thing going in. So they're more frequent, but this is the same tracks.
Right, but the speed at which they're mining it is just going to deplete it quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, yep.
Okay. After I get all the intel at the mine, which isn't going to take that awful long,
Doesn't take that long.
I want
Hour
to,
tops.
I want to buzz by the area that my parents are living in.
Um, you buzz the town. You kind of walked through your old neighborhood already and realized that
Right.
though the house isn't abandoned, it doesn't look lived in. And so that part is just not there. Using your senses that, they're going to they will want to be close to the
The king.
royalty and things
Yeah.
of that. You
So I
decide to
will head
fly
out that
out.
direction. Yeah.
Yeah, you fly out to the castle. And as you kind of fly around the castle a little bit, you do see that it is fortified. There's a keep with a wall. The wall is guarded. There's probably about 10 guards or so at any given time on the wall, in
Okay.
various locations around the wall. You do happen to spot in the courtyard what appears to be your sister sitting at a table having a refreshment, a snack, drink, whatever. Um,
I'm
and
going to
she's,
fly over and
yeah.
I'm going to do what birds do when they're flying. All over
Get,
her snack.
give me an attack roll. I'm just gonna say, give me an attack roll. Just you can add your dexterity or yeah, dexterity would probably be best.
Okay, so a d20 plus 4. 14.
Okay. With a 14, you fly over, and you hear after you fly over, you hear a blood curdling scream. You didn't quite hit the food like you were aiming, but you did manage to hit her, which is just as good.
Yeah, maybe even better.
And as you kind of circle around, you see servants coming out with like claws and all kinds of stuff, rushing to try to take care of her, um, as she would want to be doted on. And
Serves her,
you get a nice
serves her
snicker.
right. And I will fly on back to the others.
All right. You fly back, you change form, and head into the Turtle Inn, where everybody else is sitting there waiting.
And I'm just going to say, well, uh, there's guards there at the mine. There's guards at the castle, a lot of them. And my sister is there, and she's having a really bad lunch. And I'll just grin. You've heard of bird drop soup, right?
Oh my goodness. All right. He fills you all in on what he saw, and you have, I don't know, maybe about 4 hours before nightfall, before what you believe, Forsyth, the mine will close because they
Right.
don't generally work at night.
It'd be better to go out there at night than in the daytime.
Works for me.
All right. So you fool around for about 4 hours, probably work on your forge a little bit, Fix, and probably read your book. Or at least I assume you probably pull out your book. You generally do. Is there
Yeah,
anything in
Fix is working on the armor.
Okay. Um, anything you looking for in particular in your book?
I would be adding information
Right.
that I feel is appropriate and possibly looking up, see if the book says anything about what is it called? The monster.
The Eva class.
Eva class.
All right. The book pulls up a picture very similar to what I showed you. And next to it says the Ever class, the Eva class, Harbinger of Doom. Um, deadly to any who touch it, and draining of others. Shifts. It'll also tell you, master of hiding has it shifts between planes. If threatened with death, often returns to its sanctuary. You get that from the book.
All right. When I finish that, I will close my book, put it away, and I will share all of that information with the party. Not completely sure of the interpretation, but I would definitely avoid touching it. And be prepared if it gets close to death or is threatened with death for it to flee.
Do we know how we can keep it from doing so?
You can roll me an Arcana.
I will roll an Arcana.
And anybody proficient in Arcana could technically roll this.
That's a 29.
20. I mean, if you want to.
I am
I think
definitely
she's
proficient in Arcana.
That's why I didn't even bother.
With your 29, what comes to mind the best ways to prevent something from being able to shift between planes or teleport? Anything that can prevent a teleportation often will work, or binding in some way, binding it to something that it can't separate itself from, or anything like that. It's about the only way you're going to be able to get it from not leaving, or just doing enough damage to it before it has a chance to flee. Kill it before it has a chance to flee. That's always an option.
Okay, well, guess we will do our best.
All right.
I don't think I have anything in my list that will do that.
I don't believe I have anything in my list that I took that can do that, but I will check.
All right.
Nope, no dimensional anchor or anything like that.
Yep. Everybody who's in the bar can roll me a perception. And Forsyth,
Hey.
you're there unless you've left again.
No, I'm there.
Yeah.
26.
26. Forsyth doesn't see
24.
nothing. This
He
is why
don't
he
see
likes
nothing.
he
I
likes
got
the eagle.
Yeah, that's why I like being an eagle. I got an 11.
Oh, well, that's not horrible. You didn't trip over your own feet or anything.
Well, I got a plus 9. I got an 11.
Okay, when you put it that way. Kadeth.
I have a +5 and I got a 24.
Kadeth and Forsyth are deep in conversation. They just about what you're not really sure because Kadeth doesn't talk a whole lot, but they are definitely deep in conversation because neither one of them hear this. Evangeline and Fix, you hear as you're kind of talking a little bit between each other on how you can keep somebody from fleeing a teleportation. Of course, you're having this conversation mentally, and you hear just ever so faintly a whisper from another table that says, "Have you heard? I saw her with my own eyes. You got to believe me. I'm telling you, Jahara is back in town.
Jahar is back in town.
Jahara is back in town." The other one kind of
I will kind of smile.
the other one will kind of whisper and say, "Oh, if the king finds out," the first one says, "He won't ever find her. She's slippery, that one." The other one says, "Yeah, but if he finds out, this is good. It might actually, like, I think she's the only one he's scared of." It's like, that'll be good.
I will stop our mental conversation and tell Fix, did you hear that?
I'll smirk and I'll look over and who's this person you talk about? Jawoodle? Huh?
Chawoo.
Goody. Oh.
He chokes on his beer. What?
What?
He says, keep your voice down. He'll pick up his ale and come and sit next to you. It's been many years since she's been here, but there was a time she lived in the castle, and we're pretty sure that, well, she was basically the king's mistress.
Hmm.
Um, and, well, the people around here got a lot of information from her. Like, she let her tongue wag, um, quite openly at times. I'm pretty sure that's why she left town. I'm sure, the king got tired of such private matters being discussed, and, I'm sure that he wanted her dead, to be honest. But she knew.
I will lean over to him and go, was he not very good in bed?
Well, from the rumor that I hear, it wasn't really that bad. But apparently, she would spread what the information that he would share in private during certain times, and
He's a talker.
it got him. Let's just say some of his plans were foiled during those days. He wasn't able to do quite the things he could do. Then, of course, the threat of her life came into town, and well, at least it got spread around that her life was being threatened, and unfortunately, she skipped down before any of that could happen. But I saw her with my own eyes just about an hour ago. I don't know where she's at now. She's
How long
hiding up somewhere.
have we been here?
About an hour.
About
About an hour.
Huh. Interesting.
And it's not Jawoodle, it's Jahara. If you meet her, don't call her Jawoodle.
Djibouti?
What an insult. For such a beautiful woman.
Sure.
You should always call a beautiful woman by her name. Or maybe just madam. If you don't know her name, treat her with respect.
There's Evangeline is probably the only one that would notice it on Fix, but it's a look of, ew, that's my sister you're talking about. He just smiles and nods. Uh-huh. And in his mind, he's thinking, I'm going to call her whatever the fuck I want, okay?
You can't tell me what to call her.
And just a bit of forewarning, because the king probably still has sour feelings toward her. If you happen to see her on the street, trust me, you'll know it's her. You happen to see her on the street, don't go sharing her whereabouts. Just as leave keep that woman alive.
Oh, I am sure there are forces beyond your comprehension that are there to protect her.
Well, there's bound to be. She's had the gall to come back, which is fantastic. Perhaps she can put the king back in his place.
Hmm.
And they smile with a little smirk that makes you want to kind of throw up a little bit in the back of your throat.
Using the telepathic link, I will share. This plan is working out better than I thought it would.
Yeah, it's the only reason I've not punched these guys yet.
How dare you talk about my sister that way?
Control.
I'm thinking about controlling the path of air through their body, or lack thereof.
Cut it off.
They think she's beautiful, but they have respect.
That is true. They have not.
Yeah.
They have not talked nasty things.
But gosh darn it, they've thought them.
Yeah, they. Yep. They wouldn't dare vocalize it though.
I'll just say, well, haven't we all? Oh.
Okay. I'm okay with you and Gavian. No oogling my sister. I mean, he is the ugly one. Somebody's got to love him.
Ain't no one in your family that ugly.
I will use the definite. Now listen, brother.
After some time, they'll bid you adieu and kind of go off and do their own thing. Eventually, leave the tavern and whatnot. And time comes. It's late. You go to your room for a little bit, take a quick cat nap, and or Forsyth, in your case, you might go up there and just do a short rest. Of course, I don't know that it'll give you anything back because you haven't. Well, no, you did wild shape. You wild shaped into.
Yeah, I wild shape.
So
but
you
a long
probably.
rest would give me that 5th level spell slot back too.
You won't really have enough time for a long rest.
No problem. I
But
will
a
just
short
have
rest,
that
yes.
I'll have that one slot gone, and everything else is cool.
All right. And evening comes. You make your way to the front of the mine, the only entrance that Forsyth knows of, and the entrance from which the map that was given to you it guides you. So you're assuming that this is probably the only entrance. As you arrive, you do see a couple of guards and a couple of miners that seem to just be kind of hanging out at the mine. They're not actually working. It's kind of like the night shift watchman per se. Um, and you hear all of a sudden like an explosion. It's coming from not from within the mine. It's coming from further north than the mine, away from town. Both of the guards kind of stand up. They look at the miners, and the miners are like, I don't know. We need to check it out, you know. And all four of them are drawn northward, leaving the mine open.
Well, I wonder how fortuitous.
You head into the mine then.
That we do.
Unseen. All right. You
Into
head
the
in
mine.
unseen, and Forsyth, you can kind of lead them back a ways until you start getting to tunnels that look new since you've last been in here.
Then I will look at the map.
Then you revert back to the map. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session because there is no way at 9:30 AZ time that we are going to get into a battle that will at least take an hour. So that is where we're going to end tonight's session, and we'll call that one good. Next week, you'll get to fight a monster that is going to do some serious damage. All right. So, for those of you who are watching, thank you for joining us tonight. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you know when we're live next week. And hit that like button and share the video because, you know, YouTube algorithms and whatnot. So please do so. We have way more viewers than we have likes on our video. So if you're watching the video, please just hit the like button. That would be fantastic. And we didn't get a whole lot of comments from our last video, so if you're watching, comment where you're watching from. That way we know how far our viewership is. I know we have some East Coasters and we have some West Coasters. I'm just curious about anything in between, and some Australia, because we've had a few people from Australia watching too. So I'm just very curious about where everybody is. Um, And other than that, be sure to check out our website, dnDadJokes.com. That is where you're going to find any of the events that we're going to participate in, as well as a few other goodies like the Town Crier, where you can catch up on events that have happened so far, and GM Corner, just various tips and suggestions and things like that from a GM. And all of our social media links, I almost forgot about those. All of our social media links are in the description of this video as well as on our website. I made you remember something.
Yes, we finally have our TikTok link
Hey,
on our website.
on our website. Woohoo!
Bye. I mean, okay.
Well, we know who doesn't have TikTok in this group.
Yeah. I'm too
Now
old
we know
for it.
who's not following us on TikTok.
Oh, goodness.
I'm old. Why would I want TikTok?
I don't have any analog.
That's valid.
You're not that
valid.
old.
I'm
You
older
know,
than you.
Not by much.
So yeah, so check out our website, dndeadjokes.com. And again, all of the events that we're going to be at, we also post their links on there as well, so you can check out their websites and look at when their tickets come on sale and things like that. So am I missing anything? I don't think so. I think I got it all.
I think so. Yep.
All right. Well, until next week then, we'll see you then.